Good morning, I'm Alex, and I have a 2015 Volkswagen e-Golf. I've had it for about 8 months now, almost 9, and have put 8,000 miles on it, doing a good chunk of my driving. Prior to this, I had a 2004 Volkswagen R32, which I love and I still have. But ever since I got this car, I have barely driven that thing at all. Not because it's not fun, but because this car is fun. And not only is it fun, it's quick. Not numbers might not say that, but it it's 0 to 40 time will beat a GTI. Of course, by the time you hit 40, that GTI will be zipping by you. But when you're doing mostly city traffic, where your average speed is 25 to 35 miles an hour, that 0 to 40 time is a huge factor. And not only that, but coming from a 6-speed manual car that sounds like it's going 100 miles an hour when it's going 25, that gets a bit tiresome when you're just trying to get through traffic. And with electric cars, and particularly this car, you just touch the gas pedal and the car goes. There's no like groaning or this feeling of weight being like trying to be pushed along. And then you know, if you just want to like zip ahead of someone to get away from the stoplight so that you can get in front of the merge, because you know that the person that's trying to go in front of you is going to be slow, this car has no problem doing that at all. Neither did the R32, but the R32 did it with so much drama, it was almost a little embarrassing when you're just like taking the kids to school. And not just to mention too that with the R32, I was spending almost 50 bucks a week or a week and a half to fill that thing up with premium here in California, and that eats away at your budget pretty fast. So with this car, when I first got it, I was the typical first-time EV driver where I charged every chance that I could get. If I went shopping, I would charge at the Target. If I happened to be parking anywhere near the Volkswagen dealership, I would park at the dealership and charge there and walk to the store. And I, got the 240-volt charger at home. And then any chance I could get to find a wall plug at work, I would do that. And since then, I've become a little more comfortable with what this thing can do, what its typical range is, and knowing how I can drive it. And the distances that I drive are perfect for this type of car. I mean, I live about 15 miles south of where I work, and that's through partial freeway and partial city driving. There's some hills involved, but you go up, you go down. So I've actually, I do like a 30-mile trip each day, and I barely use a quarter of the charge. And it's all in normal mode. For those of you who don't know the e-Golf, the e-Golf comes with several driver controls that a lot of other EVs don't give you. The main one of which is becoming a real treat, is the ability to just coast, like no regen at all. And you find that a lot, because I find that useful a lot, especially because I've got a lot of hills that I go down, and the regen too much, you find yourself constantly pushing on the accelerator, which you're using electricity, and you never gain it back as much as you use it. So it's always good to have the ability to just turn it off and coast and maintain your speed or even accelerate using the power of the hill. And then it has 3 levels of driving regeneration. There's D, which is just coast mode, D1, which gives it a little bit of regen, D2 gives it a little bit more, and D3 is strong enough that it actually will put the brake lights on to kind of warn the car behind you that you might be slowing down. And then on top of those, there's a B mode, which is actually just pull the stick backwards, and that is the strongest level of regen, and it again will also put the brake lights on to warn the cars behind you that you are going to be slowing down, and it will bring you to nearly a stop, if not a stop, depending on what kind of surface you're on. And that also, part of that process is gaining back as much energy as possible. Some people like to drive in B mode all the time. I don't particularly care to, because then I find that I'm constantly on the accelerator more to keep the momentum going. Like right now, I'm just coasting down this hill. Now I'm going to come back up, and I'm coming to a stoplight. So about now, I'm putting it in B mode. I'm not touching the brakes. And then I'm just going to touch them here for the very last bit. It works pretty great. I typically drive in D1 or D2, depending on how fast the traffic is moving. If traffic's moving along pretty good, then I put it in D1 so that I kind of maintain my speed. If it's slower traffic, I put it in D2 or even B mode, just to take advantage of the regen, since I know I'm going to be slowing down a lot. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, charging. So I had been charging at night. I got the Bosch 240 volt level charger, or level 2 charger at home, and the Bosch Power Max one that Volkswagen recommended. I didn't buy it through Volkswagen. I actually bought it on Amazon, found it cheaper there, and then had my electrician install it in the garage at my house, and I got all that done cheaper than it would have been to have a Volkswagen representative do it, which a lot of people have found. You can even buy a wall box that plugs into your dryer outlet if you want to. And but since then, we have gotten 10 level 2 chargers at work, ChargePoint chargers. So those work right along with a little ChargePoint card that you get when you buy an e-Golf. And it is a privately owned charger, so at some point I'm sure they will be charging us. But for now, they seem to be free. So I don't even charge at home anymore unless it's the weekend. I drive to work and plug it in at work, and then I drive home. So I basically I charge every other day, because this car doesn't need to be charged every day. And that's been great, because I don't have to remember to plug it in when I get home. The delayed charging feature that this car is supposed to come with, a lot of people have found that it doesn't work. Me as well. On the app, you're supposed to be able to set a time of departure, which is so backwards. I don't understand who came up with this process, but it's like, I just want to have the car start charging at 11 o'clock p.m. because that's when the EV rates for my electricity go way down. So at 11 o'clock, I want to come home, plug the car in, and have it wait until 11 o'clock for it to start charging. And I've set it up in the app to do exactly that, and it did it like maybe once, maybe twice, but then there were some mornings I came out and it didn't charge at all. So I learned, at least for now, not to trust that app, and I basically just get home, plug it in, stop it from charging just using the button, and then just remind myself before to go to bed to start the charging via the phone app. And that works pretty good. So like I said, we now have 10 level 2 chargers at work right now. And it's great because they're deep inside our parking garage, so they're not available to the public. And we've actually got a pretty good email system going for everybody to swap spaces when they're done. We've kind of internally given everybody our sort of a 3-hour limit. You know, most cars, unless you're driving it completely dry, don't need more than 3 hours to charge on a level 2. And there's one available for me right now. So I'm about at half charge, just actually a little more than half charge after 2 days of commuting. And I am going to plug it in for probably about an hour and a half, and it'll be done. One other thing I did add to this car that the European car is an option, at least anyway, is the power folding mirrors. Yeah, so let's see if we can actually see that. So it comes with a whole new switch, and I also had to upgrade the interior door modules because also the US e-Golf does not have the interior lighting LEDs, which the power mirrors require that same thing. So I just flick it. You can code these to shut off when you shut off the car. I just haven't done that yet.